Should I hide under the table?
Hello and welcome to Project Talk, your favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Eastern Seaboard live stream, usually with one American and one Canadian. Currently, the Canadian is MIA, so I'm sure he'll join us soon enough. I know that he was struck down with a migraine today, and he's getting his stuff together, and hopefully he will join us. But today I have a second American.
2 for 1 special.
Well, he's from New York, so I don't know if you can really count that as America.
1.5 for 1.
Brian's gonna get upset now, but no, for all of you who don't know, this is Uncle Ron. Uncle Ron is usually in the chat, but he is live with me today in the studio.
Yeah, I was slumming down here in Florida. I might as well stop in and say hello.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I can get Uncle Ron in the studio, well, really, anytime we can get anybody in the studio, I always try. I always wanted this to be like the destination, you know, like anybody that was in Florida, they would come and be on the stream with me.
Yeah, pretty central would work.
Yeah, well, plus it's a fun place because I'm the fun king. So again, I'll keep checking down in the green room to see if James shows up. I did shoot him a message and asked him. James. I shot James all the way in Canada. It was a long range shot. So if you can tell, I'm a little under the weather. I was struck down with the COVIDs.
Thanks for not sharing.
Finally, I had a pretty good run of not getting it, but we spent some time in St. Augustine. For you guys who don't know what St. Augustine is, it is the oldest city in the United States. It is where the Fountain of Youth is, which I drank from. That's why I look this great.
So you had more hair.
Yeah, I'm much younger now. But we spent some time there a week ago Wednesday and had a great time. And by Friday, I knew I was in trouble. So I was down for a whole week. It was a good punch. I did work this week, but I was definitely not 100%. And I'm not 100% now. I'm tired all the time. The fatigue is terrible. But so that's why I sound like this. I'll make Uncle Ron do all the rest of the talking for the show.
Hey, I'm a babbling idiot. I can't talk. I can see her go ho ho ho.
No, we're past that now.
Oh,
what's our next holiday? Valentine's Day.
That's not a holiday. That's an excuse to sell flowers, chocolate, and cards.
You bet. I bought my wife roses for Christmas. The lady at Publix, like when I put them up there, I said, "Are these nice looking Christmas roses?" And she kind of like, "Christmas roses?" And I said, "Yes, my wife and I don't celebrate like Valentine's Day and stuff because everything gets jacked up in price." So this year I decided instead to get my wife Christmas roses. It was a huge success. So there's a tip for you guys out there.
I always thought like a dozen long stems without the roses, just the thorns would be kind of cool.
Yeah, she'd probably dig that. Way back when her and I first started dating, she told me that she always appreciates the roses with the thorns, with the thorns not cut off. So I always make sure I get the ones. Yeah, well, they're more natural that way.
Well, when you grab onto them, they hang on to you.
It's the whole Beauty and the Beast thing. So, but I can go down the chat really fast because right now there's only 7 people watching. Nobody likes us anymore. That's what happens when you take a couple of weeks off. All of a sudden, everybody forgets who you are. But Brian gets bragging rights for being here first, at least to me, because I don't see anybody before him. Alan Osborne is here. Ollie is here. Clint is here, and the Nightbot's here.
That's the in between. This is I can't read it with or without.
Oh, here what I usually do, and I don't know why it isn't. Oh, why isn't it letting me? Usually I can.
Oh, that works. You can make this bigger?
Yeah, usually I can scroll this bigger. I don't know why it isn't.
I didn't know you could even do that.
Yeah, just like any other window. You know, like this window, I can.
Oh yeah, I never thought about trying it.
Oh, there it's catching up.
You know what it is? I never break mine out into a separate window. That's when I zoom in. I zoom
Well,
in.
usually I can do it right from this window. I don't know why it's acting like that, but and there's Michael Cassell sneaking in a little late, so I will still give you a shout out, even though. Oh, I guess I didn't say it. Usually I say that's it, no more. I'm not giving any more shout outs.
You got lots of wrenches.
Everybody's got a wrench.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, it makes it much easier to deal with the
bombers.
with the spammers. So how was everybody's holiday season? I hope you guys had a great Christmas. You know, if you celebrate that thing, or there's so many, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, you know, just hanging out in the woods. I don't know.
Festivus.
The Festivus. And of course, I absolutely hope all of you had a very safe New Year's. I was sick.
So let's guess, you didn't go anywhere?
Right, yeah. Went to a huge party. No, so
A slumber party.
yeah. So every year, midnight on New Year's Eve, my Christmas light show plays Auld Lang Syne for like 15 minutes. Just this crazy upbeat disco-y version. Oh, sorry, techno, not disco. And the lights all flash, and it's great. And nobody's ever seen it. And Uncle Ron had sent me a message and said that he was going to come by and break that tradition and be the first person to ever get to see it. But he had just arrived and was on no sleep. But even though Uncle Ron didn't show up, one of the neighbor ladies did.
Oh, really? Yes.
So I was I was still so sick that I couldn't walk to the end of the driveway to watch. So the family's out on the driveway, and I'm just sitting up on the front porch, and that was as far as I could make it. I made it to the porch, and then I just had to sit down on the porch, and I'm kind of slumped over, leaning up against one of the columns, and like I'm dozing out because I'm not well, you know. And all of a sudden I look up, and there's a fourth body at the end of my driveway, and like I'm in that state of mind where like, am I really seeing this? Is there supposed to be 4 people? You know, that whole surreal. So like I'm counting, and I'm like, okay, the wife, the oldest kid, the youngest kid. Who is that? And the way she was standing, she was like,
knew it was too small to be me.
like just the way she was standing was a little bit like almost defensively. And so now I don't want to look away. And I'm just watching to see what, because she wasn't like with the family. I think she was actually across the street. And so like I'm looking like,
you got an apparition.
Like something's going to go on, you know, like something's about to throw down in my yard, you know. And so I'm waiting for the build of adrenaline, like, you know, but.
So you could have sprinted 6 feet and fallen over.
Probably. I would have made a good attempt though. But no, so when Drusilla walked back up, I said, so who was that? And all of a sudden in my mind, I thought, I hope she realizes that there was somebody there.
It would have been awesome if she said, who was who?
Right. And she said, oh, it was the lady from down the street. She said, you know, midnight was rolling up and everybody was asleep in her house, and she knew that we did this, and so she walked down to watch. And I said, well, there you go. Somebody has finally seen our our New Year's Eve show. So, I mean, I really just do it for the family. The Xander absolutely loves it. I mean, when it shuts off, he's like, oh, can't you do it again? And because of the new software, I couldn't rerun it. I would have had to get up and go to the computer, and that just, that wasn't happening. So, but it did run. It ran for about 15 minutes, and then it shut off, and that's it. That's it for the year. And now I just got to get up enough energy to go take all that crap down and put it away.
I don't know why it can't all be designed like an umbrella where you just say hit a lever, close it up, and stick it in a drawer.
Well, the big tree, we actually want to put the big tree on a hydraulic cylinder so that the ground opens like a big iris, and the whole big tree just goes down into the ground, and then it closes back over the top, you know. So I just need funding for that. So
with your big tree, instead of rolling it back on the spools, could you bring it down and twist it and roll them up on the thing and then twist it back up?
You could, and people have done that. I mean, people have wrapped them mainly with the pixel trees. The problem with that is one, that pole already weighs so much to try to move that pole around.
Was it an EMT?
It's no, it's rigid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's rigid. It's 2-inch with a 1 1/4, no, or 1 1/2. I think it's 2 1 1/2 and then 1. inside of it. But that pole probably weighs 120 pounds by itself. So with the crank mechanism and the pipes all put together and stuff, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, when I was down in October, you already had that in the ground. So.
Yeah, I usually put that out a few days because I can do it by myself. So I usually put it out a few days in advance and get it leveled and, hope that it rains or whatever so everything settles out before we ever hang the first light on it. So, but this year we are going to do some maintenance because stuff is starting to get old. When I fired the tree up this year, there was 2 partial strands out. Luckily, they were both the ground. Those strands are they go from the ground up to the top and back down, and it's 3 sections of LEDs.
Okay.
There's 2 sets of rectifiers in them. So luckily, it was both lower portions. It wasn't the top portion that was out. But one of them, the bulb was like 14 feet off the ground. So I did have to get up on the ladder to fix that one. And the other one, it was only like 3 feet off the ground. But you still have to diagnose it.
One bulb holds it out, huh?
One bulb on each one of them, yeah. And then, and it was both of them, the bulbs themselves, because they're LEDs, the bulbs were fine, to the best of my knowledge anyway. The pins were broken off. Because, they go through and then they bend them around the plastic. And I suppose just from vibration and the wind blowing or whatever, and packing
Cranking
them
it
up,
up, cranking it down.
yeah, whatever, broke the pin off. And then that was it. So that was scary that those didn't work, but we got those working. And then there was one bulb that was bad. Like on one strand, I found a bad bulb. Like the strand was still on, so it must have shorted internally, which if that happens, then eventually the whole strand will burn because, well, at least that third section will burn because they're getting brighter, they're getting more power. So I noticed that and I got that replaced too. But no, we are going to do a little maintenance. We'll take them all down, of course, roll them up like they're supposed to. But at some point this year, we're going to unroll them and test them all and make sure that they're all good and that all the bulbs are tight in the sockets and the little locks are on them. And we want to put some heat shrink tubings on the ends of them because that wire that they're on, it bites my fingers every year.
Oh.
I get stuck by those wires. So Sergio says hello, Sergio, and hello to Glenn Hogue.
Hello, Sergio.
Whew, that took all the oxygen I had. I got to breathe now. Yeah, so there's definitely some maintenance things going on. A lot of stuff is starting to get very badly sun faded and stuff, but it is what it is. As long as it still lights up, we still got to use it.
With your Santa, I wonder if you can get like a bright red fabric dye and restain them rather than paint them.
I'm wondering if I could use an airbrush. If I could just mist them with an airbrush.
Mm.
I think I have enough like retired decorations that are of that material that I could probably try it. I mean, I have an airbrush. I have an airbrush compressor. I've never used it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have the airbrush sandblaster. I don't have an actual airbrush yet.
Yeah, I bought it when I got back into RC cars. I bought like 50 car bodies and a whole bunch of paints and stuff, and I never painted them.
Problem with those, you got to paint them backwards from the inside.
Yeah, you paint them inside out, in layers. So, but
you have to be able to think backwards while doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I even went as far as masking one off. I have one of the bodies all masked off and ready to paint, and I just never. I'm not an artsy guy whatsoever, but I mean, I can tape off and paint to a line. So
I thought about vinyl wrapping my pickup truck just to change the color.
Brian said, "Why not upgrade them to LED?" Upgrade what to LED?
Your Christmas lights, they already are LED.
Yeah, the big tree is LED. It's 8,500 LEDs.
You didn't count each one, did you?
No, I calculated it based on
what they said that was on the strand.
On what's on the strand, and then 100 for the star. Now next year I want to do a new star. I want to do a 3D star. So really 3 of them like this, so that I can make it look like it's rotating. Instead of it just being flat like this, have it, like one this way, and then one straight,
so
or
blank,
one this.
Blank.
Yes, so that I can, because I have extra channels on those controllers, and make it look like it's spinning. I don't know if I'll go that far. I definitely want to redo the star though with more. I want it to be like, like pretty much everything else in the show.
It needs to go up and then come back down and land on the top of the tree.
Oh, that'd be
I go up
interesting.
dark and then lower down like the star is actually coming down and land right on a tree.
Well, it'd be fun to be able to drop it all the way to the ground and do that for New Year's too. But and then of course the Matrix, the big Matrix has to come next year. I already have the controller for it. I just
Matrix, like in the green and black computer screen thing.
No, Matrix as in like strips of 1,000 LEDs. It'll be
Almost like doing an LCD TV screen.
4 by 16, 4 foot by 16 foot. You guys in the metric world can convert that yourself. I'm sorry. Everybody's always really good at that quick conversion. I don't know. Times each foot by about 300 millimeters, and you'll figure it out.
390, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so that's going to go right across the front of the dormers, and then I'll be able to scroll text or even play video on it.
Hello, Paul.
So, hello, Paul Cumber.
Now would that Matrix work to do like a video display, like from a laptop or?
Yeah.
So it would.
Yeah.
I was looking into doing one of those in the back of my house because I wanted to have like a big outdoor TV.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be that good a resolution for that.
From,
I mean, you could.
From the far end of the property, it probably would be.
Yeah.
But I started looking into it. By the time I bought the Matrix boxes and all the LEDs, it was cheaper to go out and buy a TV and hang it on the back of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started the project originally using the LED panels. Those.
Oh.
P10s, P5.
They're like the 8x10 snap-in modules.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and they daisy chain together and stuff. Yeah. And I was running it off of a Raspberry Pi with a hat, and I got that working. I actually had it out there one year. The problem was I used P5 panels, and where I had it, where I wanted it to be, by the time you got to the road, you couldn't read it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just it was too far away for the size panels.
I had to redo the fiber optic ends for that kind of LED display at the Google facility in Manhattan.
Okay.
And it was kind of neat. The way they snap together is they're all magnets. Each one of those modules is held in place with a magnet. So you pop it off with the magnet with a special tool, unplug the cable, and just plug the replacement module.
Interesting, because these actually came with magnetic feet.
That's because they're designed to snap to a steel backboard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. But
they said the biggest problem isn't the wiring. The problem is getting each of those feet adjusted so that things sit level.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they just hooked together with a ribbon cable.
Yeah.
So no, it was like I still have it. It actually is laying across my desk upstairs because I've played with it a couple more times. There's a member of the community, and her name is Melissa. I can't remember her last name or her screen name. I mean, I can't really remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so it doesn't matter. But
did you have breakfast?
I don't know. I don't know if I did. It was probably Cheerios because that's what I eat every day. But she came up with a library for controlling those boards that it worked so fantastically. It was absolutely a godsend. But unfortunately, again, I would have to put those so close to the road to be able to do what I wanted to do with it.
The spacing is too close together on them?
Yeah. It became like too blurry to tell what it was. If I made like huge block letters, you could make it out. But as soon as you tried to put like two rows of text, it just wasn't enough. So the lights that go on the front of the dormers now are all failing because they're old, and we went to replace them last year and decided that there just wasn't anything out there. I mean, last year was hard to buy anything because of the whole pandemic situation, and there was just nothing out there that was good for the front of the dormers. And so we said, oh, next year let's put up the Matrix. So I didn't bother fixing anything through the summer. Well, then, stuff happened and we didn't get the Matrix done this year. And so I was scrambling and I'm like, I got to go buy something. Well, it was going to cost me like $300 to put stuff on the face of the dormers when that $300 could go towards the Matrix. I mean, it's only like another $1,500 and the Matrix is done. Right. Like it's not really that big of a deal. So we left the broken lights up there. And when every time that I was out there talking to people about the show, they were like, did you know you have lights out?
Oh, you hung them anyway?
Yeah. Because I had to have something on the dormers.
Yeah.
So like they have a snowflake in the middle, and then they have these smaller snowflakes around the outside that blink. They're not part of my programming. They're just, you plug them in and they blink. And so like one of the dormers, the one all the way to that side, those blinky things didn't work at all. And the one in the middle, the big snowflake, didn't work at all. But it was just funny because I have a tree with 8,500 LEDs on it. That's absolutely just magical. And all of this stuff choreographed to music, running off of a computer that runs on a timer that if it doesn't start to the dead second, I reset everything so it does. You know what I mean? Like it's that intricate. And people are like, you got lights out?
No, really?
It's like, that's really all of this. And that's, thanks. No, I didn't realize I had flaws. So
Is this hot?
I don't know. Tell me if I left it on. But no, it was a really good season. It went well. We raised $131 for St. Jude's.
Nice.
So that was pretty awesome. It was always fun to go out to the donation box and open it and there actually be something in there, because most of the time, we check that thing 4 or 5 times a night so that nobody steals it.
Right.
And most of the time you go out and you're like, oh, nothing. And all of a sudden you open it up and there's $30 in there, and it's like, amazing.
Is there a sign that says it goes to St. Jude's?
Yeah, right on the front of the big sign that's out front that has the tune your radio to on each side. On the front, it says all donations go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, except baked goods. We eat those, and quickly as well. That's what it says on the front.
Okay. I missed that.
And then right behind it, there's a donation box that I built the stand. The donation box I bought off Amazon for like, I don't know, $8. It's made out of aluminum cans, I think. But the stand could get run over by a tank and be okay.
Box.
Yeah, like the tubing is all like 1/8 wall steel tubing, and it's welded to a brake disc off of a Chevy truck. So like it's massively heavy, and then it's chained to 2 hurricane ties in the ground so that nobody can steal it. That you could probably pry the box off of the stand.
Yeah, the box says Reynolds wrap on the side.
You ain't getting away with the stand, that's for sure. But
you need to make it so it funnels it down into the tube.
Well, I'm actually gonna make a better one. I'm gonna make a better box for out there, and then we want to be able to highlight it so people will know it's there without it being like,
hey, give us
money. Yeah, like
so setting up an ATM in the yard or putting a square where people use their card.
No, we're gonna put a Venmo barcode,
okay.
QR code on there, because a lot of people don't carry cash. But the donation box only started because people were asking for it. Like we actually had somebody a couple years ago come and knock on the door after the show. Cool. We got a little glitchy there. I said, that's really cool. And it's appreciated. But then when you explain to people, well, my electric bill doesn't really go up. Like, first of all, the lights aren't on the whole time.
It's only a few hours a night.
They're blinking on and off. They're only on like a third of the time. Yeah. But also because everything is LED and we don't run air conditioning and stuff typically during that time of year. And never heat, even if it's freezing cold like it was this year. I tell my kids, too bad, put on thicker pajamas. Yeah, Michael Costello said you need 12mm pitch at that distance. Yeah, I'm like, I want to say it's 125 feet off the road, but my pitch now will be 2 inches. It'll be 2 inch on center.
Really?
Yeah, and each row I think is rated at 1,000 pixels. So yeah, it's 48 inches.
So it's 2 inches between the rows going up.
Yeah, it's 2 inches between every pixel.
So it's gonna
be maybe I went to 1. I think I went to 1.9. I think it worked out better at 1.9. So but it's 48 rows high, and then it's
and you're putting it. It's 4 feet high. You said.
Yeah, 4.
So it's 1 inch basically.
Yeah, 4. Well. See, now I can't remember. My brain is shoddy. It might be. No, it's only half that. It's 24 rows.
24 rows.
24 rows. Yeah. It's 4 foot high by 16 feet long. So, and then the idea is that like the actual show, when the show is running, what I program in there will look like just the face of the dormer. It'll be just the window like it is now. But then between shows, I can scroll text, hey, show starting in 5 minutes, or we're rained out due to, or, shows rained out, or, whatever. Hey, don't forget there's a donation box down there, you cheap. No, I'm just kidding.
Put the Super Bowl across it.
But yeah, it'll have the ability to do so much more stuff. And then James, oh, look, he is here. I thought this was the one where Glenn shaves Uncle Ron's beard without. You weren't supposed to tell him.
As long as the mustache doesn't get touched.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my brother from another mother, James from Print N Play, with his new studio space.
It looks tilted.
What?
It looks like I'm angled. Does it not? Does it not look like it's like the backdrop and the desks? Like it's like the camera's not sitting flat.
He's got
there.
Got more desks showing here than he does there.
I don't know.
Actually,
I got my metric tape measure here. Let me see.
James, I think it's just because that blue thing blocks the edge of the desk, so you don't get a reference to your right.
It's a mess here, anyways. Everything's a mess.
Well, if you look, nobody else can see what I'm doing, but if you look at this grout joint in the
yeah,
it does teeter up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're talking at the top, right?
Yeah.
It goes from like here.
Yep, exactly. And then it's up off
and
of
then
the
by
top.
over here. Yeah.
So James, just sit like this. It'll be fine.
So I will say that this is more or less level. It's certainly not off by that much. So, and because the desk also seems to be, I think it's the camera, the way it's sitting.
Probably the camera. And nobody would have even noticed it had you not said anything.
Just sit this way, James.
Yeah, you just got to get the ghetto lean.
We got to lean in the same direction. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Oh.
Well, actually, I should just be able, if it's the camera, I should be able to just sit up straight and then everything should be right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you should have better posture anyway.
You should have a better posterior. What do you think of that?
Hey, don't be talking about my posterior. My derriere is just fine.
The area of your derriere is scarier.
The area of your derriere.
The area of derriere.
Well, I spent the last half hour just chatting away, so now it's your turn.
It's beard shave for beard shave.
It's beard shave for beard shave.
James got to do his too.
Good luck. Then you guys can console me through my divorce next week.
Sorry. Byproduct of the COVIDs.
Oh, is that a requirement? Your beard has to be thicker than Kay's?
I hope she's not.
And don't tell her I said that because she'll hunt me down and kill me.
Occasionally she watches this. Yeah, I think I got her playing Legend of Zelda. What's the one for the Switch called? Breath of the Wild. Is it Breath of the Wild? Glenn would know.
I'm not that nerdy.
Okay, Red Dead.
I only played once or maybe twice through the whole month of December.
Are you making up for it in January already?
No. Well, not in my current condition. Good God. For me to go up the stairs, I have to stop in the middle and take a break.
You've told everybody what's going on?
That's true. I did have to stop, but that was only because we took the Christmas tree up.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
You told everybody what you've got then.
Yeah, I did tell everybody I had the COVID.
The creeping crud.
I'm currently negative, so let's keep it that way.
That's just your attitude.
You've always been negative as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was fun. Like luckily I was off on Monday. Like Monday was not a work day, it was a holiday. And so then Tuesday morning I sent an email, fired it off to the company owner and my direct boss and my employee, and I said, well, I finally got the COVID. I'm working, but I'm limited capacity, and they've been pretty good to me and not expected too much because I do a lot of math for a living. And when your brain is foggy, and I'm in the middle of writing an $18 million contract right now. So
you want to limit the mistakes.
Yeah. So everything is being checked and double checked right now. So
would you say that you've got it where it counts?
I got it where it counts. Like I got the COVID where it counts.
Why'd your lights go out?
It's a screensaver.
Oh, okay.
It gets tired.
Do you
It's
know what
just
I ordered yesterday?
What'd you order yesterday?
An airbrushing kit.
Oh, that's funny. We were just talking about airbrushing.
I have been working steadily on my big project that's for a February release.
Okay.
And so I spent hours sanding out the layer lines as much as possible by hand on Friday.
That's fun.
And I also have a test piece that I've been working on. So everything I'm going to do to the main piece, I've been doing to the test piece at the same time.
And this is PLA, right?
No, PTG.
Oh, yeah. You definitely got your work cut out for you then.
That's harder to sand the PLA?
Mm-hmm.
So what I ended up doing was deciding that I didn't care if it got really rough beforehand. So I used a hand sander with 60 grit.
Okay.
And it cut through it pretty quickly. Like you've seen the size of the pieces. They're, they're about like that. It took me probably 45 minutes for each of the big pieces and then like a few minutes for each of the little pieces.
Okay.
So then I primed it. Primed all of them, waited an hour, gave it a light sand, primed again. And again, I'm doing this all with the secondary piece. So once the primer was dry on the secondary piece, that's when I moved on to painting, but I'm doing everything one step behind. So the small test piece was primed first, made sure the primer adhered well. So then I did the top coat with rattle can and let it cure. And the next day, the paint just rubbed off the primer.
Wow.
Yeah.
The primer stayed, but the paint didn't.
The primer stayed, but the paint didn't.
Wow.
And what brand of paints are you using?
Both the filler primer and the top coat are Rust-Oleum.
Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of painting, so this is my also like trying to learn how to do things really nice and get a good finish and stuff. But yeah, I came downstairs. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's looking okay. I wasn't super happy with the paint job on the piece, so I was gonna give it a sand and repaint anyways. I didn't know if I should just keep talking while you're coughing or not. I didn't know if you can hear and cough. Okay.
Continue to talk unless you see me fall over.
Okay. Well, actually, I'll watch Uncle Rod. If he looks concerned, then I'll get concerned.
There you go.
Good call.
There you go. But
no, if I just slide to the center and keep on going.
Just take over.
Yeah.
So then, like, I have to ask the question that makes you the idiot. How well did you shake the paint?
Oh, like at least a minute upside down, until I shake until it sounds like that bead inside's moving around real freely. Because you start shaking and it sounds like it's not making it to both sides.
Yeah, like it's got a chunk of rubber in the bottom of it.
You didn't wipe anything down with a tack cloth or anything, did you?
No.
Okay.
Nope. No chance.
I wouldn't imagine. Did you sand the primer?
So after each coat, I gave it a light sand because you end up with that like grit to it after a fresh coat of primer. Yeah.
Right.
And then wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol and then let that really dry.
So I mean, not a tack cloth, but he still tacked it off.
Yeah. No, I just know in some instances, well, in this case, it's Rust-Oleum, so it shouldn't be a water-based paint. But if you wipe down with a tack cloth, which sometimes has an oil base in the tack portion of it, water-based finishes won't stick to whatever you're trying to put it on.
Yeah. How bad did it rub off? Like all of it? Like could you just right? Or was it?
It didn't. No, it didn't peel off. It was like following my finger, so it was like tearing and it, like if I got a fingernail in there, it was obviously game over. Like no durability. Yeah. So since I wanted to sand it again, I fully sanded it again. I'm gonna try with the primer. The other issue we're running into is that I don't have a garage to work in, so I'm painting inside, and primer smells terrible. Right, so I opened the window down here and primed.
It's usually only a concern for about the first 30 seconds, and then you don't care anymore.
Oh yeah, well, so correct. Do you know who did care though? My wife up on the second floor when the furnace circulated the smell of primer through
the whole house. Yeah, that's kind of like when I caught the laser cutter or the laser engraver on fire in the house. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The air conditioning picked it up and blew it through the house.
My laser engraver is on my kitchen table right now, and my house smells like I've got a fireplace going all the time, and I don't have a fireplace.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if you just got a bad can of paint.
It could be. But all that to say, so I was talking to Kay, and she's like, "So what are your concerns?" I'm like, "Well, number one, there's a lot of spots where it's gonna be hard to hit with the rattle can to spray into it." And she's like, "Well, how would you do it properly?" I'm like, when you're getting into models and details like this, you're probably better off using an airbrush kit. And she's like, "Well, I wanted to get into doing airbrush brushing too, so you should buy one." So I went on Amazon with a budget and picked like the highest rated one on my budget. And then I've never watched a tutorial or anything. I just know airbrushing equals good work if you know what you're doing.
Well, yeah.
So I went on Amazon or on YouTube. I was like, airbrush tutorial for beginners, and the kit that I bought is the one the guy recommended in the video.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is
So-
Kay still doing the alcohol painting stuff?
Actually, it's funny. She just picked it back up. Yeah, she was off of it for a little bit, but
I was wondering if she could use the airbrush for the alcohol painting to blow stuff around and spray the colors.
I would
you share
imagine
it.
because it's pretty thin. Yeah. Well, we've briefly discussed too, like, so bathrooms being redone, and then our laundry room is laundry's moving upstairs, so the laundry room's turning into storage. So we've briefly discussed like setting up a like maker's corner in the basement, so she can have her like cry cut set up. The airbrushing kit will be there. There'll be one 3D printer there, so she can print off whatever she wants as well. But just balanced rather than like
Because apparently she's not allowed to touch
His 3D printers, yeah.
no. One of my 3D printers will be over there, but it'll be one that I don't use, so that she's always got access to it.
It'll be that crappy one that he doesn't use.
Oh yeah, she's getting the Prusa Mini.
Oh, I see what you did there.
The Prusa Mini is now working, by the way.
I thought you were gonna give her the zone
It
star.
is working.
Absolutely. Do you know
Excellent.
do you know what I did to fix it?
You put a Revo on
Dropped it on
I
the
put
floor.
a Revo on it.
Oh.
There's now a Revo. There's a Revo on that, and there's a Revo on my CR10, which I think I've already been through, because that's the one where I put a 24-volt Revo onto a 12-volt system, then had to use a
Right.
secondary MOSFET and a
Yeah, that I
external
mean
24-volt.
for like I don't know. E3D makes the hot end for the Mini, right? It's just a different hot end.
No, so from what I've read, it's like the I don't know. I was reading something on Prusa's site that said that it's like their exclusive hot end.
Ah,
I don't know, and so like, correct me in chat if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I had read that it was like a proprietary Prusa hot end. It could be proprietary, made by E3D as well, I guess, but
interesting. Yeah,
or
Brian asked,
maybe. Sorry, good.
Brian asked us if the paint or primer was latex based, but Rust-Oleum is oil based because you cut
Sorry,
that.
no. The both Rust-Oleum products I used were not in fact oil based. They were acrylic. Like it says acrylic, I think, on the can.
Really?
I'll have to double check.
Interesting.
That has to be a bad can of paint.
I'm gonna have to go double check as well, because my acrylic spray, if one of them is oil based, because I assumed not.
Yeah, see, like when you buy Rust-Oleum here, it's oil based because you cut it with xylol.
I've never cut it.
I mean, you can cut it with nah, see, my brain is so fried. Not regular paint thinner.
I'm gonna jump off camera for a second. I'm gonna go check that. Also, I have to
I wanna
move
see you jump.
the full size Prusa to here, because I got the parts to fix it, and I promised Kay I would get up and running. She needs me to print her some planters.
Oh, okay.
So off camera for a sec. Continue to wear my headset. Oh man, feels good to get those pants off, you know.
You know,
log on to my OnlyFans now to.
that's
see what the-
that's why I sit at the desk so you can't tell.
What
Yeah,
do you cut Rust-Oleum with?
I have a can of it out there on the shelf. I can just walk out and look at it.
That'll take you 20 minutes.
The my server rack, that's what I painted it with, was Rust-Oleum, and I cut that to go through the gun. It's xylene.
I already used my swear for this year, right?
Yes, you used so many squares last year. You're done for this year.
Oh, that's too bad.
Acetone.
That's the other one I was thinking about, was acetone.
Xylene.
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 Yeah.
These all sound like artificial sweeteners.
Or mineral spirits.
or mineral spirits. Yeah. Yeah, because it's oil based.
Yeah. Ow, it bit my tongue.
Well, that was dumb.
Yes, it was.
Does it look oily? Because if it's sprayed out, it looks real greasy looking. Then it could be a can of bad paint.
Does it taste oily?
It
Does it bur-
tasted like colors.
Does it burn your eyes when you spray it in your face?
Yeah, the snozberries taste like snozberries.
I hope nobody ever watches this channel to actually learn how to make stuff, because
Oh.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know where I read.
hang on, my mom's calling me while I'm live. You're live on YouTube. Yes, it's Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm live on YouTube, and so are you.
Hello, Mama Fun King.
6:30. Okay. Love you. Bye. Oh, it cracks me up. She can never remember when I stream, and I stream at the same time.
I thought you were going to say that she couldn't get the video to play
She
again.
couldn't find the.
I just got a text from my mother saying that she knocked the sound bar off the counter at the house. So if I'm going to be running around later on tonight, she wants me to stop back past the house to hook it back up because it's not working at the moment. And its way it's structured is there's no sound without the sound bar.
Oh, that's never good. It's never good at all. So Uncle Rod and I are going to be filming a video for the Garage channel this week. That'll be fun.
I'll believe it when I see. I mean, whoops.
He's changing the wheels
No,
on my
I
rollerblades.
said we're filming it. That's all I said. We're filming it.
I'll believe it when I see you guys filming it. So I guess I'll never believe it because I live nowhere near you.
You could fix that. It's a lot warmer down here than it is up there.
You can at least do it 6 months at a clip.
Uh,
That's the magic number, isn't it?
It's like 6 months minus a day.
Right.
Yep.
You can come down for 6 and
I'd have to find a job that would allow me to work that remotely.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I guess working for a government entity, that's probably a little sketch to be in a completely different country, huh?
no, VPN's VPN. Should be
I
allowed.
wonder which government would have a bigger problem with it. Your government or my government?
Depends on what you're doing. I mean,
I'm just
if
selling
it's basic-
propane and
basic, like
propane
data
accessories.
entry stuff, probably not a problem. But if say you're buying and selling
Listen, James is a
arms,
spy.
yeah,
James is a spy for the Canadian government. He can't be doing that here. But no, so that there will be
007 and
there'll be
8.
some new content coming. I'm also now storing Uncle Ron's old truck, which he's lucky it's a Dodge, but he's lucky it's not a Cummins, or he'd come back and there wouldn't be an engine left in it.
There's barely one in there now. This is
He still could come back and find that thing transplanted into something else. Who
that
knows?
is true.
Okay, so this is what I use, and I have no idea. So do you have to like?
It's like WD-40.
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. I guess you guys want to. Yeah. I don't have
that
a.
doesn't look like anything that I've ever seen.
It's Canadian
Wonderful.
Rust-Oleum.
Let me get a tripod on my secondary camera here. I'm gonna be honest. I have not done a lot of painting, so I kind of just watch some YouTube videos, and it's like, oh, go get a sandable primer or filler primer.
Right,
Apply that.
filler primer. Yeah.
So this one's sandable primer, which from what I could tell is the same thing because it builds up and then you can sand it down.
Yeah. Well, all primer at some level is a filler primer, but they make a filler primer.
Yeah, it's got Bondo in it, basically.
Well, yes, it's got a polyester in it. But
it's thicker.
Yeah, it's thicker.
So it's like
and then,
self-leveling.
Yeah, and then you wet sand it until it's smooth. And
Wet sanding. Who has time for wet sanding?
It'll give you a much smoother surface.
Just do it when you're in your pool in the middle of February.
There you go.
But now, if you read the back of that can, there should be instructions. Well, it should talk about cleanup, and if it says water cleanup, then it's definitely not an oil-based paint.
Let's see.
If it tells you to use a mineral spirits or whatever, we probably wouldn't talk about thinning on a spray can.
No.
This has happened before. I can't get my secondary camera to come up. Let me see.
Welcome to using OBS.
Is it plugged into the right computer?
Yes, it is. It's recognized, but like I've got it set up so that all sources, like like it's supposed to disable the camera when you're not using it.
Right.
I've got it set up for that. except for this one's as long as OBS is running, it's blue. So it doesn't.
On
It
my
doesn't.
project laptop, I updated my USB drivers to be able to run my laser engraver, and now the laser engraver works great. But it no longer talks to my vinyl cutter, so I have to use my vinyl cutter off Bluetooth.
Wow.
Why is
But
everything
you need
so
separate
difficult?
computers for everything you do.
The software I use for my vinyl cutter is so old, I have to run it on Windows 7. No, maybe it's 8.1.
I thought you were going to say 3.1.
I think it runs on 8.1.
Okay, so I'm gonna kill OBS and then relaunch it.
Sounds like a plan. You should probably get that thing up here and start working on it.
I guess.
You're gonna run out of time.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's
I
just,
think it's a monster.
Dad picked this up on sale on like a Black Friday thing on Amazon, and his other printer was down, and Mom finally said, "What are you messing around for? Just order yourself another one and get going again." So I got to pull this guy off, and the piece of plastic is stuck inside this little Y splitter.
So this is one of those dual extruder or dual motor.
It's a single hot end with 2 extruder motors. This is what the Lot Max. Oh, I forget what model is. Oh, the Shark. It's right in the thing. Lot Max Shark. And Dad never did figure out how to use the 2-tone portion of it. So he only used it for a single color, and he would just tell it
this is oil based.
Which extruder he wanted, so you have to change in the middle of something.
What's that?
This will be oil based. It says clean up with mineral spirits.
Okay, so that's oil based. And what about the other?
Well, that's the problem, is that no matter what I do for the top coat, it's going to be like an acrylic based, which isn't going to bond with this, is it?
No, probably not.
So I've pretty much ruined those pieces.
Why can you only get acrylic paint?
I can't paint oil in the house because of the smell.
But you painted oil primer in the house.
Yes, and then I was,
got yelled at.
and think of this morning too, and why I almost didn't make it to the stream.
Yeah.
I just
you were busy doing drugs out behind the garage. I know.
Yep.
You're not supposed to use the paint inside a paper bag and just breathe out of it.
Oh, okay, I see.
No huffins.
Do you have your?
Do a Google for acrylic paint over oil primer.
Ooh.
Do I have what?
Allen wrenches? I think you probably have them sitting here. Or are they upstairs? I didn't think to grab his and bring them with me.
No, that's not the right drawer. Right there.
Ah, thank you.
The Bondhus.
Ooh. Bondhus. Not even a house. It's a Huss.
Super nice.
Are they?
They're cheap. I think that set was like $15. Michael Cassell said, my vinyl cutter software runs on Windows 10. I could imagine yours does, Michael.
It's his business, is it not?
Yeah, he's the one that made me that banner.
Yeah.
Oh, just do this. Good God.
Why would I want to do that? Make a mess.
Just get them out where you can use them.
Now I can get my eyeballs out.
Yeah.
I can't see anything at all.
Yep. That will not work.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
Not too big.
So that means that you have to find some oil-based paint and a place to do it.
The reason I had to paint in the basement is because I spent 2 weeks trying to find a heated location, but was unable to do so.
Dude, you don't have McDonald's in your neighborhood? Just go set up at a McDonald's and paint it on the table.
Womp womp.
With crystals.
Michael said that non-spray oil paints don't smell too bad.
Yeah, if it does have to look. It's gonna, like, I can't do it brush. It won't, like, I can't have brush strokes on this piece.
Well, actually, there is a product, and I'm gonna have to stretch my brain to remember what it's called. It's got a weird name, but there is a product that you mix with the paint, and it will actually have no brush strokes when you're done.
Called air?
No. It's actually a product that I've used in the past, and others use it. Like when you buy pliers and stuff, and they're just like non-treated steel. They're bare steel.
Right.
You can brush this stuff on and it dries clear,
It's like an etching agent.
and it almost is like a plastic coating.
Yeah, because of the Y, you can't push straight through. That was where I ran into the problem.
Well, it's got to get through, but I mean, if it's gooped in there.
It flows. You push it back, it'll rattle around inside like it's can.
Oh, if I push it this way?
Yeah, it'll go back in. No?
Oh, a little tiny bit it did.
No, I had it in there bouncing around, rattling around the other day.
All right, so we want to put some heat to that?
That's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure. Heat gun, cigarette lighter.
No, I'll get the heat gun. All right, let me put my shoes back on.
Probably need a pair of pliers to hold on to it too, right? That'd probably be a smart
Don't
move.
be a puss in that top drawer.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can maybe get bonding primer that you can put over top of oil primer that'll create like a layer. Like there's a primer that will bond to oil and also to acrylic.
Interesting. But how
Really?
bad smelly would that be?
I don't know.
It's probably even better to breathe in.
Oh boy. Well, that sucks. Because you know what a pain it was to get those parts printed in the first place.
Follow-up text from Mom. I fixed it.
Excellent.
Mom figured it out on her own.
Sometimes when I go out to the garage to grab things, I forget that the mic is still hot, and then I almost say stuff.
Yeah. I'd be cursing up a storm.
I was going to start singing.
Oh, I've heard you sing. That's not a good idea.
No, it's not. It's not a good plan for anybody.
I can make a statue's ears bleeding. You're worse than I am. Of course, that is subjective.
I'm wondering, do you think this is the best option?
I don't know. What do you think the other option would be?
I was thinking drilling it out, but then if you slip up even a little bit, you could screw up the whole path.
Right.
Oh, look down in there. Let's go.
I am unhappy.
What are you unhappy about?
The situation that I've created, because I had to have those like no matter, I had to have them finished and painted by the end of this week, and I don't have time to work on them this week. So it was like I'm gonna be able to come down and tack it out, the top layers, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. So I'll have to figure out what happens next. I started this project 3 months in advance so that I wouldn't get down to the wire, and then
You're down to the wire.
well, I mean, it's my own fault for not knowing enough about paints before making a decision.
Yeah, but that's how you learn stuff.
I couldn't afford to learn this one this way, but it is what it is.
Hold it.
I'll whack you in the finger.
Oh well.
That might have made it worse. It's a stupid design.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to a bigger pliers.
Oh, they were there.
We're gonna need a bigger plier.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Just thinking it'll keep the hands further away.
That's true.
All right, so if you want to hold those.
Okay, and so it doesn't drip on the floor.
Oh, I don't care about the floor. All right, I'm gonna mute our mic just because this heat gun's kind of loud. So.
Well, how's everybody else this fine day? Did everybody have a good Christmas season or holiday season, or however you want to say it? I'm currently stripping the Prusa apart again because after an accident during this large project, the bed is no longer moving smoothly again. And truth be told, it hasn't been perfect since I put the bushings in, but it might be damage to the smooth rods. So I would just like to replace everything because I've had just too many failed prints as of late. You know, it happens. So let's get it resolved, you know? Trying to remember how I got these off last time without having to replace the zip straps because I don't have ones that'll fit that. I hope they remember when they decide to go live again that they are in fact currently muted.
No, we think we got it out of there,
Never
You
saw it
think?
leave though.
but that's just it. Yeah, it came out at such a velocity that we don't know where it went. I mean, it could not have been that big of a piece of plastic anyway.
It wasn't. It was like an 1/8 inch long and as big as a little bit bigger than a piece of filament.
Yeah.
Just enough to keep the filament from passing through.
Right. So
Right, it's still warm.
is it so warm?
Yeah, surprisingly. Thank you, sir.
Warm enough to melt filament?
Yes, because it was melting my flesh.
Well, this smooth rod is looking tarnished. I don't know if it'll show up in camera or not. Probably not.
It's looking
Oh.
what?
Like tarnished and marked up.
Now you still have the August's in there?
They won't be anymore. I decided I'm replacing everything.
No,
now.
but that's what you have in there now is the August bearing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which might be the discoloration on the
Oh, the
On the smooth
built-in
rod.
lubrication rubbing
Yeah.
off on stuff. I'm replacing the smooth rod just to be safe, though. It hasn't moved like as smoothly as I think it should have.
Yeah.
Since
Well,
before I
that's
started having
definitely
problems.
one of those maintenance items that people don't think about, until
Yeah.
they're like really, really bad.
Yeah.
So
So just to be safe, and I'm gonna go back to using the Mitsumi bearings instead. I ordered a replacement set of everything.
Tom Mama said, "Wow, your kid got old fast, beard and all," and I thought he was just got into high school this year.
Xander's hair hangs down lower than my beard anyway.
Yeah, his hair is long. So I gave Xander a very good lesson in life on Friday night. I had to go pick him up from a church camp, and the local police department decided to pull me over for doing 140 in a 25 zone. No, wait, no, that was a different day. No, I got pulled over because I apparently don't have a tag light on his car, but it was a good lesson for him to learn how to react when a police officer pulls you over. The whole driving and shooting at the same time thing. But
Scream
Yikes.
and yell, cry.
beg for mercy. I did not get a ticket. I got a written warning. A fix-it ticket, pretty much. So I guess that's not even a fix-it ticket, because a fix-it ticket you still got to pay $9.
Oh, really? Not in New York. Our fixed tickets, you got 20. You got to close a business next day.
No, she just gave me a written warning. As long as you're in there, it's close enough. It's not really. Whew, that was a hard repair.
Well, the question is whether it stays repaired.
Yeah, that is really a terrible design. Lot Max, huh?
There are no terrible design, just terrible people.
I are one of those.
A terrible person?
Yeah, I think so.
What is the bed? Just glass?
Yeah.
Glass with some kind of a.
He was having problems with bed adhesion, and I told him to get the what the heck was the goo? Magic goo. And he went to that, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, it's night and day." He goes, "Stuff just stays."
Yeah, Magic Glue is good stuff for that. You can also do it with 3D Gloop, but no offense to the Andrews, 3D Gloop's a little expensive to be using it for that. So I like to keep my 3D Gloop for gluing my parts together.
My my cross that Dad 3D printed for me had split, so I stuck some 3D gloop in there the other day, and it's back to being solid again. I got to tack down that little piece yet, but at least it's reinforced again.
Yeah.
Of course, I got a big smear across the front.
Well, you can use that for smoothing.
I don't know what the deal is with this thing needing a pendant that you can sit over here and I want to kick
I
over
don't
my
know,
next print.
It's kind of neat. I like it. I feel like I should be able to play some video games or like some tweets or something on that.
Mhm.
And then does that unplug? Oh
Yep.
yeah. Oh, it's
HD
HDMI.
It's HDMI.
Well, so you could real easily put an extension on there. So
That's true. And put it over in your desk.
yeah, the
But you gotta wait-
HDMI plug must be. Oh, do you? Because this is this touch screen, or is it
Yes,
just a
yeah,
screen?
no, it's touchscreen.
Ah, I was gonna say because you could plug an HDMI cable in there and run it to a monitor.
Oh,
That'd be interesting.
Huh.
It's got a plug for a laser. So I'm gonna bring the
yeah,
camera.
it's funny. I was going through the kit for the tools for this thing to try and take it apart. I saw there was a pair of laser glasses in there. Dad never mentioned that he had the laser module for this thing.
Yeah, so it's got an RJ45 jack on it right here that's marked laser. Laser pew pew. And then now this is the dual for the, I suppose for the extruders.
Yes.
One is 3 and one is 4, which is interesting. Does it share anything up there, or is it just completely split?
This is 3 on this side, and this is E on this side. Oh no, that's the extruder motor.
Yeah, they're both extruders. But interesting.
Oh, hang on, no, hang on. The number's down here. That says E also. So I got 2 E's. I don't know where 4 is. Oh, well, it's E2.
No. It's marked E.
Oh, E2.
E2.
E2D2.
Oh,
They're both marked E2, but this is a 3-wire connector. This is a 4-wire connector, is what I'm saying.
oh. This is a 4-wire on this side,
The most
and this is a 3-wire over here.
weird. I
That
don't
is
know why
weird.
that is.
Oh no, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong motor. Oh no, that is.
Most
I'm sorry. It's okay. So E2 is over here. There's like a filament out sensor, which is 3 wires, and then there's 4 wires that go to the stepper motor. So then this one, actually, that's this side. This one is part of this bundle and goes straight into the board.
Huh,
So this is
that
the add-on
whole-
one.
That whole thing. So it's not. That's why it's E2 and E2 because
They're both going right to here.
they're both to the same.
Yeah.
The same.
Yep.
And of course, you're saying right here, and I don't have the camera pointed up.
Yeah.
There, but yeah. So there's a extruder motor here and an extruder motor back here. Well, that is. It's super smooth. Is
Yeah.
that belt driven? No.
No,
It's
it's a single screw.
single screw. Huh.
Kind of like my CR10 at home. I never put the second one on mine.
It's pretty smooth.
I want to say when he picked it up on sale, it was like $139 or something like that.
It looks like it's built well. It's all aluminum, you know. Even the no, that one's metal. This one's plastic. It's weird that they have two different
Yeah.
spool holders, but and then
It'll be because it was probably a single extruder based system, and then they just wired in a second. Like, you know what I mean? Like the system was designed. And
Yeah, why would they make the spool holders out of a different material?
I feel like they converted an existing kit, and then they're
That's
just
an existing.
yeah. Well, maybe so. Being that this can be plugged in, maybe you can buy this as a single or as a double.
Yeah.
Oh, could be that too.
This thing kind of. I always thought this was kind of weird how it dangled like this.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well, and the fact that this is plugged in the front and then has to run all the way around to the back.
I wonder if
Hey, Glenn.
I wonder if I should run it.
I've been mean to ask you. Do you watch any new Letterkenny?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if this is supposed to run the other way.
You're supposed to say what? Why? Because I have actually had access to it since it was out. But I'm between being sick and the holidays, and then right now I'm completely hooked on Yellowstone. I know, Western, shoot 'em up, bang bang.
I guess better to be hooked on Yellowstone than Yellow Snow.
I don't know. My mom kept talking about how great Yellowstone was, and then Priscilla and I started watching it. We watched one episode, and she said she doesn't like any of the characters; they're all mean, and she didn't want to watch it. And so now I'm into season 5, which is the current season.
I wonder if this should be run around this way so it stays out of the way. I can attach it underneath and
Wouldn't be a bad idea. You might even be able to just like
tuck it into the
kind of tuck it
the extrusion.
right into the extrusion right there.
Yeah.
So at least it stays out of the way. Because that doesn't move. That stays where it is.
Right. So to have it going around the back to me makes that a little sketchy.
Yeah. I've never been a big fan of Bowden printers. No offense to anybody that loves their Bowden printer. The few that I've had experience with them, I hate them. I absolutely hate them.
My CR10 never has a problem with the Bowden system. My CR10 always has a problem between the heat break and the nozzle area, where it'll balloon up in there. It'll get a gap in there, and it ends up looking like that the cattails from you see in the swamp.
Yeah.
It'll balloon inside there, and I have no choice but to take the whole thing apart, clip it off, pull it out, and reseat it.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that so many times. I wish I could just put the thing together with Velcro. Ron's from New York.
Tom said Glenn's only a type 2. Figured you'd be an original type 1. Are you talking about my life alert thing on my watch? It's because I won't wear a bracelet, a medical alert bracelet.
Right.
So I bought this from a company that says you can get all kinds of different diseases for your watch band. So that
diseases for your watch.
That way, if you pass out or whatever, because for those of you who don't know, with diabetes, you can get into a situation where you almost appear to be drunk. And so then you can, be arrested for, drunken disorderly conduct or whatever, when really you're dying.
Yeah.
So
I had to deal with a person with that one day. They were playing pinball down the Northern State Parkway on Long Island, bouncing off the cars. And when an EMT got there, took one look at the guy in the time of day and squirted a tube of glucose in the guy's mouth, and boom, it was like a light switch. All of a sudden, he was instantly sober and conscious.
Yeah, so I don't go anywhere without lifesavers. It's just weird because they can save my life.
I guess I should put this back on the floor.
Well, if it's fixed, yep.
Yeah. Oh, that needs to be tightened up a little bit, I think.
No, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I over tighten all mine.
Yeah, it doesn't.
My laser engraver right now, if it goes past the 2/3 mark and out 2/3, it disconnects and restarts the unit. But I'm thinking my belts might be too tight when it gets to that spot. It's putting too much resistance on the motor.
That's very possible, yeah.
I might have to loosen that up and make it a little sloppy.
Yeah, it can have a little bit of give, just like an automotive belt. What in the world? Oh, John said, yeah, the cam focused on it. Yeah, that's my medical alert bracelet. Because I don't go anywhere without my watch. So.
Why did you step on? I'll let you record.
Oh no, that's from working on Zach's computer out here. And then I decided to just take it in the house and work on it. So during my 1 week of vacation time, not really most of which I was sick, just part of which I was sick, I did actually take some time and move my whole entire. No, that's not true. That's a lie. 90% of my filament collection out here is now here in the closet, which is.
Oh, I think you tell me it's in the cabinets.
I thought about that, but no, right now it's just all piled up in this corner of the closet.
You've got to buy yourself 60 rep boxes and be able to put it all up on the wall.
Yeah, my rep box is out here somewhere too, or maybe it didn't make it out yet.
Okay.
So I haven't figured out where I'm going to put that yet. I might hang it on the wall back here because it's got the custom end panels.
Right.
So I want it to be seen.
There you go. You can't put it inside the FK1 because the FK1 we won't be able to move then.
No, and I can't put it above it because it'll block my awesome banner.
Correct.
So I got all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
They're first world problems, but they're problems.
I thought you had like 99 problems.
Yeah, and too much filament ain't one of them. Oh, wait, it is.
Issue.
No, I was going to say I moved all my filament out here, but I forgot that cabinet upstairs is still full of filament.
So I've decided that my plan is twofold. I'm going to start printing those pieces again as a backup.
The whole project?
Yeah, it's about a spool and a half of filaments And
Okay.
so I can split the jobs between 2 printers and have it done in probably 3 days.
Okay.
The secondary thing I'm going to do is continue to try and find a place to paint, but alternatively, I'm just going to install a back box fan in the window down here and try and circulate, block off the door leading into the furnace room to, basically keep as little airflow to that as possible, like heading towards it. And I'll try and rattle can the rest. But I don't know how it's going to turn out because the decals and stuff that I've also got may not stick to that.
Once that paint is dry, though, you shouldn't have any problem sticking stickers on it.
Well,
Paint didn't stick to the paint.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
like if he can get an oil
yeah,
base
exactly. Yeah, that's
to
the
grab,
goal.
like once it's dry, then I mean, you think about automotive paint. I mean, not all of it anymore, but I mean that was always oil based, and you can damn sure stick a sticker on a car.
Yeah. And if you worry about it lifting after you get the stickers on, just hit it with a matching clear coat over the top and seal them on.
Oh,
Whatever. Yeah.
I was gonna say matching. How do you get an unmatching clear
Yeah.
coat? But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like
Matching whatever paint he's already sprayed.
right, molecularly matching.
I would like to state for the record that I still hate the spacers between the bed and the carriage for the bed.
Yes.
Because every time I go to get these set up, like I get everything lined up and one's just like, nope, I think I'll just drop off here.
And then the magnets are like, suck them out of there.
What if you put magnets underneath, like the little Harbor Freight magnets underneath each one of them?
They'd have to be really good magnets to fight the magnets that are in the bed.
That's true.
I think what they should have done is engraved little notches into the bed carriage so that when you set them, they're not just sitting flat on top; they actually sink in slightly.
Yeah, well, they could have knurled them and pressed them in.
Yeah, they could have done that too.
They could have just put a shoulder on each of those, so they could have sat in the existing holders there too.
Or made them out of aluminum.
Yeah,
Wait, are they magnetically attracted? No, they're not. They're not.
They were.
They do not pick.
That's the MK3. On the MK2, there's a lock washer that goes underneath there, and that thing gets sucked to the magnet.
I went to put the bed down the first time, and I had a USB stick stuck to the back of it. I'm like, why isn't this sitting flush? Oh, there's my Windows 10 USB stick.
Yeah, otherwise a little dab of super glue. Super glue them things right to the carriage.
Super glue would be okay as long as you're positive you get it right the first time.
I get everything right the first time.
I think it would work if you had one of those super glues that takes like 10 minutes to set, because then you put them all into place. You get the bed back on, you tighten it down, and then the next time you take it off, they'll be permanently bonded.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't get into the screws and permanently bond the screws into the.
Yeah.
Like a Loctite.
Epoxy in.
It's not Loctite, it's lock all night, but not in the biblical sense.
All right.
Adding not in the biblical sense is my favorite thing to do for places where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, actually, Brian, I have an all metal hot end, the Micro Swiss all metal hot end on my CR10, and I still have that issue. I haven't used a CR10 in about 2 years.
I've never used a CR10.
I hate.
You have one?
I have a CR10 Pro.
Never.
No, I don't have a CR10 though.
I hate.
I have used the
sometimes.
Pro. It's a pain in the butt. I hate it.
Yeah, I use the artillery that I picked up down here at Dad's house, and then I took it home, and it's sitting in the back room, and I haven't even plugged it in up there yet.
Yeah, my CR20 and my CR10S Pro are both sitting upstairs with no plan, because I don't really have anywhere to put it out here, and I don't know if I need them. Once I can get some wire run across and a dedicated outlet for this monster, then I don't need.
Oh, you're talking real electrical wire, not.
No, I need to run a circuit for that thing, because when I built this, I didn't really like. Obviously, in a house,
you've got a separate outlet.
This area would be on a circuit, and so the kitchen is on its own, but pretty much everything else is on this. So,
hijack it out of the kitchen, or you bring it right.
No, I'll take it right from the panel box outside and bring it up over and run down and put a dedicated outlet on that wall. Upstairs, I have 2 dedicated 20 amp outlets, which were for the heat presses. So then when this monster came along, no problem.
Right.
Now it will run on a regular 15 amp, but I'm running all of this crap off of the same outlets. So all of a sudden I go to print and the computer shuts off.
Which is, if you're trying to demonstrate it during a stream, could be problematic.
Bingo. Or if I need to stream while it's already printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like that's gonna. Come on, that thing. How long could a print possibly take on that thing?
What did I say for the Benchy? Like 15 days. So it is not fast. Like it is but it's never been tuned to be fast. Like I've never worked with it enough to
Figure how fast you can go.
right.
It's never worked long enough to. Oh, sorry.
Well, we can go with that. That's fine.
No, you did a fantastic job on that. You just haven't had enough of a reason to.
I lost the desire is the problem.
I think you need to.
It's
print
really
out-
hard. So, sometimes designing and building the project's the fun part, and then crossing the T's and dotting the I's at the end. It's like, oh, you know.
Well, and I know that like once it's done and working, then I got to do all the paperwork.
Oh yeah.
Because I still plan on releasing it out into the wild, but
I think you need to print yourself a full-size Iron Man suit, and that would be like perfect for doing your chest piece in one go.
I am Iron Man.
yeah, well, I'd like some stormtrooper armor too. In fact,
Yeah.
the whole family wants
Stormtrooper. armor?
stormtrooper armor. Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Well, I told you about me contacting Nico for.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was looking for armor that would fit somebody with my svelte figure, and I asked him if it was any chance he was going to do the Baymax from Big Hero 6 to fit the plus size people like me, and he actually designed it, so I bought it. I figured I asked, he provided, I better support him. But his original response to me was, "That sounds like a really good idea. You just made me laugh, but I have the Hulkbuster suit," which would also probably fit me.
The Hulk booster.
The Hulkbuster.
Hulk booster. Okay.
I
I
know you
need
can say
power
that,
now.
Canadian.
Okay, I need power now. I don't know how I'm going to generate the 1.21 gigawatts or even get this thing up to 88 millimeters per
1.21
second.
gigawatts.
Yeah.
The other thing I struggle with running that I don't know if you do, I replaced my extruder with Bondtech and getting the steps per millimeter right. So every filament prints right.
I
It's
haven't
been
put
fun.
that much time in any of that. I did change from the default extruder spring system that was on the motor to a machined aluminum one that fits a lot nicer and tighter and seems to roll better.
Well, the steps per millimeter, though, there's math for that. Like there's actually a formula that you can run to get it really close, and then you do like your PID tune type tuning.
Right.
You know, you do your extruder tuning, and you measure. You know, you tell it, extrude 100 millimeters, and then you measure it out and whatever, and you can get it dialed in pretty close. I've never had it change with different filaments though. Like I don't typically have a filament that runs different.
Faster.
Different than anything else. Of course, I print everything hot though. Like
I print everything like 215.
Yeah, they'll say like, "Oh, this prints at 195." No, I'm like 225 to 245.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna lay that crap down hot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It works for me. So that's an issue that I have in 3D printing. Let's just call it out right now. People will say stuff like, "Oh, this filament prints at 215 degrees." Well, it might print for you at 215 degrees, but that stuff may print at 235 for me.
Right, but the other thing is your thermistor might be reading differently than somebody else's thermistor is reading.
Not if you've done a PID tune. Yours is right. It's
right to the machine.
It's right to the machine, and it's right to your style of printing. You know, like maybe you've tweaked other things to where you can handle it hotter. Like, I don't know. I just get better bonding. I don't have.
But I'm saying a PID tune doesn't verify that your temperature is your temperature, not unless you're shooting it with an external temperature reading.
Right.
So you can calibrate it and get your PID tuning done that way. But that doesn't mean that your thermistor is reading the temperature.
True, but on every printer that you have. Plus, not only that, but the giveaway is you look at it when it's sitting at room temperature, and if that one says that your hot end is at 36 degrees, and this one says it's at 35 degrees, then Okay, well then.
Means that one's closer to the air conditioning vent.
Well, I mean, but you know that they're within a reasonable range of whatever it is in
Yeah.
the room. So, but Tom Lama said, I think you should print a full size Fun King head, the full 6 foot plus tall you can wear at Halloween.
That's what your star should be. A big Fun King head all lit up
Big-
on top of the
Big
pole.
Fun King head. Whew, branded forever.
Yeah. Make the crown glow and
Yeah. So I actually started working on modeling just the crown so I could wear the crown, but my head is so weirdly shaped that
what, round?
no, my head's definitely not round. It's more ovalistic.
So you just print it round, hit it with the heat gun, and
Squish it until it fits.
Wait, no, I don't know if you want to put it on your head hot.
Oh yeah, that's how you get it to mold on there. You heat it up and then you
hit it
just
with the heat gun and wedge it on your noggin.
That's right. Might burn my hair.
I doubt that.
Checking to see if the Mark III comes with any PETG example code files on it.
Wait a minute, he got that together really quickly without any cursing and screaming.
It's because he's all out of curse words for the year already.
Oh,
all the missteps with the other project have broken me far beyond anything else. So I do not see any PETG examples.
No, I think everything that comes built in is PLA.
ground down cone
Like
head.
ground down cone head.
The dome head.
Camera off for 2 seconds.
Time's
Intentionally.
He's got to put his pants back on.
Sorry, it's Canadian 2 seconds.
up. Oh, that's 25% longer. I'm sorry.
I put too much ice in here. Not enough water.
Something, everything in Canada is 25% longer.
Is everything in Canada 25% longer?
Yep.
No, you just convince everybody that it is.
I don't care if it's just a rumor. I'm pushing it.
Yeah, it just depends. Do you use the American side of the tape measure or the Canadian side of the tape
8
measure?
inches, 8 millimeters. What's the difference?
Oh, poor Uncle Ron. I need to get a USB cable connected because now it's connected to my Octoprint instance.
I need to take a nap. I'm exhausted.
Hey, I'm surprised you're here. Kay had bet against it. No, actually, Kay was glad that you were back enough on your feet to try and do this today.
It's about the most I've done. Like it's been very hard because I can't sit still. Like I'm not the kind of person that can sit still, and so like I would say, okay, well, like yesterday morning, I had said Friday night, I said, all right, I'm gonna get up tomorrow. I'm gonna clean off the back porch and pressure wash out there so that it's clean and we can use the porch now that the weather is nice. Nope. I laid around in bed all day and watched TV because that was about as most I could do. Like,
well, the other day with the pressure washer, even down here, you could use it as a snow machine. You guys were like 26 one night.
I didn't even think about that. I bet that would work out
on
really.
a fan pattern.
Well, I iced the front yard. I ran the sprinkler overnight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and like the first night I used one of like these kind of sprinklers, and it was a nice big ice patch, and Zach went out there crunching all through it and stuff. He thought that was just amazing. And then the next night, which would have been Christmas Eve night, I used one that just sprays up, like this, and it was a really thick. It was like a really thick ice. It was a smaller patch, but it was really thick. It was pretty amazing.
Well, I know the first year my mom and dad moved down here, Dad didn't know you guys had a freeze one night, and Dad didn't think to turn the sprinkler system off. And he sent me pictures the next morning that the car was encased in glass. The palm tree was encased in glass. It was really pretty.
Yeah.
He was like, I think I killed the palm tree the first day we're down here.
No, it actually protects it. But
does it really?
Yeah. I used to ice over the well so that the well would stay warm. Because it puts a layer of insulation, like an igloo.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So Brian said he knew there was a bunch of math that has to go along with that kind. I just forgot about it when I got the new main board, and I need to redo it. I want to say that there's an online calculator, Brian, and it might be right on their site. But I want to say there was an online calculator where you put in. I don't even remember now. It's been so long, but you put in some stuff, and it'll at least get you. It'll get you close based on like the size of the gear and blah blah blah. And you can use that for all of your all of your axes. So you can tell
A
it how
new
many teeth.
firmware up version is available.
What stepper mode do you
3.11.0.
have? How many teeth it is?
Right. You got a firmware update available?
Yeah, I'm a little behind on the firmware updates to the Prusa.
Yeah, I don't necessarily keep up to date with that. If it prints, I don't really.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is that I haven't had anything related to firmware. So
Yeah, I fixed it right up to the point that it didn't work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if they say like, "Oh, this specifically, addresses this issue," and that's an issue that I have.
If you don't have the issue,
install this. It makes you more attractive.
Yeah. This-
Good luck.
This update makes you 10% richer. Oh, I'm all over that. But
did I get the notification?
what notification?
Yes. Okay. Let me show
Good God, you got 5 million notifications.
Why not the
there.
one for you streaming?
Oh my God, I couldn't handle that. How do you have that on your phone? Like, that's giving me anxiety.
It gives me crippling anxiety.
7,949 unread emails. Nope.
There's 5 or 6.
I won't say that I don't have accounts that look like that, but
No, that's 5 or 6 different email accounts all lumped together.
yeah.
But
Oh crap! I never loaded filament.
Oh, it won't print without that.
Oh. Please press the knob to unload filament.
It will print the most beautiful invisible bench you've ever seen.
I make you bet the layer lines are gorgeous.
I certainly hope that there isn't filament stuck in here because I don't really want to deal with any more issues today. Was the film? Yeah, let's say yes. It was successfully unloaded. Let's just see what happens if I jam something because it seems to think there's already filament in it.
I think. Are you talking about the drivers for them, Hanky?
Yes, it did load successfully. Thank you, Prusa.
And the answer to that question is, yeah, it's pretty common.
For the drivers to go.
I won't say it's common. It's going to depend on the driver itself, but
It's not uncommon.
The cheaper ones are not all uncommon at all. The hardware.
The motor itself, they're usually okay. It's usually the drivers that go on the board.
Yeah, it's usually the driver board that goes, but I mean, again,
anything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you overwork a stepper, like if you have your belt entirely too tight, you could burn up the hardware. Yeah, I've been pretty pleased. These weren't the steppers that I used on this thing were just ones that I found on the Amazon, on the Jungle website.
The Jungle website.
And they weren't terribly expensive, but they're nice, and they were like the ones that I could find for the right price with the highest rated torque.
Do you run silence too or no?
No, I mean just whatever the duet handles as far as keeping them quiet.
Yeah, I mean, somebody suggested I upgrade mine to the silent stepper drivers and stuff like that. I was like,
no,
my printer's in the other room. I don't care.
The only thing that I really considered was doing the what is the indexed ones where they always know where they are.
Okay.
Because of having to level this thing out.
Right.
I considered that for at the time the 2Zs.
So you wouldn't need the sensor switch.
Well, right. Well, yeah. So what it comes down to the BL Touch, but now with the 4 of them and the fact, I mean, it takes like 3 minutes in the very beginning and it runs through the whole thing and levels it out, and then it's fine. And unless you lean on it, you're not going to knock it out of.
Why does your bed look smaller?
Because it's covered with a huge Lego set.
No, I thought it came all the way up to here.
It can't. The head wouldn't.
That's true. Yeah, why get a piece of metal that you can't reach anyway?
Right. So that all started based on bed size, and then the frame was designed
to bed size.
To be as big as it needed to be to get the nozzle to all 4 corners of the bed.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to buy a bigger bed for no reason that you can't print on, because that's also a bigger heater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of a heat sink.
Oh, it's definitely a heat sink. Holy crap. The thing cools off really fast.
I think it's CR10.
That's weird.
I've never messed with
What's going on?
I'm trying to get the cameras to overlay. And no matter which order I put them in, it puts me on top.
I always put you on top too.
How about if I do this? Nope, I moved the wrong way. There we go.
I've never messed with the firmware on my CR10 at all.
My CR10 is very much not so much a CR10 anymore.
Yeah, I
New
wanted to
board,
mess
new
around-
hot end. Sorry, good.
Yeah, I want to mess around with the firmware on mine, but it's one of those things I refused to do until I ordered another replacement board for it, just in case I completely hosed it.
Yeah, in case you break it. No, the only one that I ever modified was the AM8. That's got a custom version of Marlin on it. Just because I didn't really want ANET's crap in there. I wanted to make sure I took out the ability to burn your house down.
That's a value-added feature.
A value-added feature, yeah. Yeah. The old burn your house down modification.
Yeah.
So nothing like having a thermal runaway, but the printer doesn't do anything about it.
Sure it does. It combusts.
I mean, okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because, that used to be a huge topic. Everybody knew if you had an AM8, for those of you who don't know, ANET took it upon themselves to disable
A safety feature.
the safety feature that shut down in case of a thermal runaway
In case of fire, this is fine.
for zero benefit.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they were out of bit space and they needed just that one little bit space for something else that was a cool feature. They literally disabled it for no reason.
So the benefit being, if they had a hot end or a thermal cartridge that was a little out of spec,
It wouldn't
it couldn't-
complain.
it wouldn't complain about it.
Yeah.
If it took it, an hour to get to temperature instead of the 1 minute that you're expecting, that's fine.
Right.
Or it couldn't maintain that temperature while it was printing.
Yeah, your air conditioning might kick on and blow on it. So, they disabled it for your benefit.
Or you just might be heavily breathing next to it.
Yeah. So I loaded my own version of Marlin on there that uses that safety feature. Look at that, no problems.
Well, because you don't use it.
I use that printer. In fact, that's the one I printed Zach's lightsaber for Halloween on that because that one had crapped.
Ah,
So it got printed on this. This is my default PLA printer. If I have to print anything out of PLA, it generally comes off of this.
PETG is over here.
PETG's over there, yeah. That's PLA that's on there right now.
I say, what's with the neon orange? You making another printer?
I just had it sitting around and I needed to print a test print after I put the new Revo on there.
Ah,
Which I don't know if I even shared that, but I started that print on a Monday from upstairs. I sent the print to it and I was watching it remotely. I can see it from this camera
okay.
and then I can see it from the camera that's on the printer. And like 10 minutes in, it came off the bed and it was just like sliding around. So I quick canceled it and ran down here to clear it out so it didn't
Your Octoprint?
stick to the new nozzle. Yeah. Yeah, I hit the big cancel button. So
It's funny. I had on my Prusa, while I wasn't even home, I was printing while not home, which is not really safe. But
no, that's terribly dangerous, and I would never do such a thing.
Yeah. But mine kicked loose and it blobbed up around the entire hot end. And when I cleaned it off, I was still having adhesion problem. And I ended up talking to Shane, and I was fighting with this thing. And I described what it was doing. He said to me, he goes, "Did you pull your flex plate off and look underneath?" And I'm like, yeah, every time I have to pop the goo that sticks before it fails. Turned out I had a piece of PLA the size of a grain of sand between the magnetic bed and the base plate. And that was cocking everything just enough that when it got high enough, it was causing it to strike and was knocking things. It was knocking.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was just that small
look
piece.
at the problem that I had with that, where the filament was wrapped around the Y motor.
It made an egg shaped. It was
Yeah, it was causing that thing it was slamming because it wasn't, the pulley all of a sudden was bigger than it was supposed to be. So
yeah.
no, the craziest stuff can cause these printers just a nightmare of problems.
And what's funny is you look at some of the things and it's like, you're a 1/4 inch out, it doesn't care. You're a 1/2 inch out, it doesn't care. A grain of sand, a
yeah.
couple of wraps
You're a
of filament.
You're a quarter millimeter out.
Yeah. It's like one extreme to the other with these things.
Well, and that's what I said too about 3D printing as far as being a maker. 3D printing ruined me because like designing the FK1, everything is within tolerance of a quarter millimeter. Like I have I had my Prusa dialed in and everything that's made is within a quarter of a millimeter tolerance. And then like I would go to build something out of wood and I'd pull the tape measure and I'd be like yeah, and then I'm like, what am I doing? It doesn't have to be that. You just get close and it'll be fine. So
I know you were pretty tight on your extrusions when you cut them too.
oh yeah,
Everything right?
yeah, absolutely square and perfect size, and yeah, because that that can cause you all kinds of grief. So using a 32-bit board on that or an 8-bit board. Wasn't sure how old it was.
On the FK1 or is AM8?
Yeah, the AM8 still uses the ANET board. It's not the original. My original died. I got one from Walter, Country 3D.
Yeah, but you got the 32-bit.
Yeah, that's the duet.
The duet, yeah.
Running on that thing. That is just an unbelievable piece of hardware. What they've done with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch Walter's old videos on when he did the duet upgrade to his Tarantula as a Little Monster.
Yeah.
Because now that I have the Little Monster at home, it might be worth.
Yeah, but you have more money invested in the board than the printer's worth.
Probably.
That's the downside. I mean, it is an amazing piece of equipment, but it's also not cheap. So.
True. But you always pull it out and move it.
Chicken is cooking too fast. Taters won't be fully cooked. Oh well, chicken can sit out of the oven. So I might end up nibbling all the skin off of it while I wait.
What'd you put on the skin?
His lips.
And teeth.
It's terrible how tasty chicken and turkey skin is. Butter.
Okay.
That's where they keep the cholesterols.
That's right. Everything that tastes good will kill you faster.
It's like a prime rib when we do it in a rotisserie, and you get that fat gets really crispy on the outside.
You know,
I don't care if I get a piece of meat. I just want the.
I'll tell you what. The Outback style prime rib is an amazing prime rib.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of Outback. Like when I say to myself, I want to go to a steakhouse, I don't immediately think I'm going to Outback. To me, it's a gimmicky.
It's a McDonald's steakhouse.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's
the fast food of steakhouses.
Yeah, I mean, garden restaurants as a whole are not like super high end as far as I'm concerned. Right. I mean, sorry, we have a Texas Roadhouse. Those people know how to make a steak. Yeah. So, but their Outback style prime rib is pretty dang amazing. Pretty amazing.
I used to go in there and say, okay, what's the biggest steak they got? Yeah, I'll eat that one.
Yeah, it's always the porterhouse.
Yeah, it used to be.
It's always the porterhouse.
Guys, I just realized as I'm doing the math, the top coat paint I used is also Rust-Oleum. So it really should have bonded anyways.
Yeah, but it's two different chemical formats.
No, I think they're the same. I think I screwed up what I thought was in them. I think the snag comes from me going into the aisle where it was listed like acrylic paint or whatever, like non-oil based paints, and they had them all in there. And I think it was just me assuming, but I think all Rust-Oleum is oil based.
That's the only one I've ever seen. I've never seen.
Yeah. So I'm even more confused.
So Tom said I'm flavorful.
No, he said you're tasteful is what he's saying.
Uncle Ron is flavor.
Yeah.
Oh. This hasn't been bad today. This is actually a huge improvement. I was on the phone with my boss, trying to remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but we were going over some stuff, and I got into a coughing fit that was so bad I couldn't breathe.
Oh wow!
Like I was literally gasping for air, and he said to me, "Well, I'll let you go. You do what you need to do."
Was he afraid to catch it over the phone?
I don't know if he thought it like he didn't want to hear me die. I mean, it probably sounded like I was going to throw up, but Why did it?
I don't know.
Why did it hide that?
Why did you hide?
I didn't even see it. What was it? Oh, are you gone?
Am I
Oh,
gone?
my CR10. I still got this. The original board, and it's not the 32-bit.
I think you guys froze for a second, but I never know if it's you or me.
Might have been me. I don't know. Tom had posted, put an apple in his mouth and throw him on the spit over the open fire, and then it held it, and then I guess I clicked.
Yeah, you hid it.
I guess I clicked to hide it, but
You can't undo it, huh?
no, this is the menu, and I click on it. This is
Yeah.
I
Also,
can put him in timeout.
I broke
Yeah.
the golden rule. I've been printing
I thought you only did that to
PETG.
me.
You broke the golden rule and what?
I've been printing PETG on the smooth sheet for the Prusa.
Is that a no-no?
Apparently, you'll eventually start losing chunks of the PEI coating on it. And like to be fair,
To be fair,
let's see if it's gonna show up. No, it's right where the glare is. I don't think me. Do you see that mark right there?
right on the edge there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It looks like it's like bubbled off of the steel sheet.
Yeah. I have a steel sheet. I just never use it, or the smooth sheet. I just never use it.
I had trouble with PETG sticking to. Well,
Right.
You remember how bad it was. I will say that the CR10 has been printing PETG like a champ since I switched to the Revo.
Nice.
Because after this died, I ended up printing all of those parts except for the front part on the CR10 instead of the Prusa. But
What is? I mean, outside of the quick change on the nozzles, what's the big advantage of the Revo?
well, I think for me with the CR10, it eliminates that space between the nozzle and the heat break.
Okay, where I'm having that stupid little bubble come up in there.
Right.
Yeah, it all ends up being one piece. So your hot zone and cold zone are actually one physical piece. So there's no chance that you don't have them connected properly.
That's why you can replace the nozzle cold.
Okay.
Like you don't have to heat it to set the nozzle. You just
Oh,
just
maybe I have to
twist
put one on my CR10, and I won't have to keep cursing at it.
Yeah, and so you can print the Petsfang like mounts for the CR10, which are meant to take the or actually there is never mind there's a Revo hot end that's specifically designed for the CR10 or the Ender 3 or any of those other Creality.
yeah, but I would still change the mount and go to the V6 compatible.
I do like the cooling I get with the Petsfang, where it's got so the Petsfang it has these basically like these teeth that hang down, so it directs air from both sides onto the tip of the nozzle, so you get equal cooling on both sides, like all the way around more or less. Their like biggest one is that you can actually put in two, what are they, 40-20 radiator radial fans.
Yeah.
So you can get like lots of airflow onto the nozzle and get cooling. But
I thought he said.
I was trying to hold that back.
I like how he waits 3 or 4 before he mutes the mic. It's like you guys need to know what's going on.
It's a little tiny target that I got to hit with the mouse while I'm coughing. So
you should have a hot button that does it.
He used to do.
I think I do.
You just
Does
forgot.
this work? Am I muted?
No.
Oh, then the mute button doesn't work anymore. Oh, that's because the mute button doesn't work with Streamlabs.
I thought he said pet stain, and I thought he was talking. I thought he was complaining like the dog pooping on the carpet or something.
Yeah, the dog takes a leak on the carpet and you get better cooling.
It's the pet stain mount.
Hey, I just received a new badge on printables, just so that you guys know.
Thanks for sharing. Cool story.
Just received a new badge, Star of Design, Red Dwarf. Hey, I rock. So
you're a red dwarf, huh?
I don't know. I don't really know what goes on that site. I just know that I get notifications that people have printed my stuff, and it's like, like there's a new make your thing, and I'm like, great, that's awesome. I love that.
What'd they make?
I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't tell you what.
No, it's just a badge. Just got a badge for being amazing. So, but that's actually the bigger news. Fun King Garage has surpassed 400 subscribers.
No way.
401.
You're full of poop.
So what's
Well, that is true. I will not argue that. I am
In fact, I have to end the stream early to deal with it. Good job,
yeah.
buddy. Congratulations.
I'm gonna let you guys in on my secret on how to grow your YouTube channel.
Go to
Don't put content.
www.buysubscribers.com.
Don't make content.
Buy subscribers.
I don't know. They just keep coming.
So what's the magic number? 1,000?
1,000 is the magic number. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers and 400 hours of watch time. That gets you partnered, so that you can
Be monetized.
And make almost no money off of them at all. But
I think I managed to get the corner to look somewhat. Let me guess. It just
froze.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened, but it also it's like it just disconnected the camera, and then it's like your USB device is malfunctioned.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, I guess.
The way he's holding it, it's like one of those Mardi Gras masks.
Yeah, I hate everything about everything.
Yeah, Brian, my CR10 is still running the original board. It's one of the older ones, about 5 years old. Everything on that thing's original except for the hot end.
Is my mic still working?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pleasant surprise.
Brian, James is actually painting on PETG. Tom wants to know if you've tried unplugging it and plugging it back in. I think that's the problem, is he unplugged it when he was moving it.
Yeah, camera off for a second. Just for the record, I am wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts. I just
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
We believe you.
Okay, I kind of see what happened. I shouldn't have gotten out of bed this morning.
That's how I feel. I shouldn't have gotten out of bed this morning.
Well, then you had some knucklehead around 12:30 show up to start testing it.
I am wrecked. Just
Wrecked him.
Damn near killed him.
Okay, let's see. That's back. Is this going to be good, or is it just going to say, hey, James? No. Okay, it says it's there. Deactivate. Activate. Hey! Everything's coming up Millhouse.
And now he moves it, it's going to go.
So it's not perfect, but so what I did is I tacked it in from behind into this wall, so it creates a straight line.
Yeah, it looks like a legit corner.
What I might do as an upgrade later on is remove the tacking, take a piece of like 1/4-inch trim and sandwich it. So like put it in, tack the trim in to give it like a nice tight line to pull into, and then pull it tight from the other side so that it creates a nice straight line. Because right now it's a little curved because I've just got tacks every 8 inches or so, all the way down into the wall. But it was the fast and dirty way to do it.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely smoke and mirrors. That's every YouTube studio.
Yeah, this is just a cheap vinyl backdrop. I bought a steamer that I need to go through and remove all these lines with, but I couldn't find it.
I thought you were going to say you 3D printed it and just stacked it there.
I 3D printed it and then I just stacked it there. I'll prove that I'm wearing pants because I know Uncle Ron's uncomfortable. I just realized that the one thing I never did was try and straighten out this camera a little bit.
Looks like my wife did some grocery shopping.
That looks like it might be sitting straighter.
Kroger delivery truck is here. She's getting groceries. I want you all to know that my wife ordered groceries again last week.
Well, she likes to eat. So do you.
Did she get more than one banana this time?
She did a fantastic job and got a whole bunch of bananas.
Just a whole bunch.
The whole bunch was there. So
she got you some honey bunches of bananas.
Does she have to order it differently?
Yeah, you have to like put a quantity. It's I think it turned out to be per pound. So
that is crazy.
Yeah. So I think it was Scott that had said his wife would order stuff like that and end up with like wrong size stuff. And there was a couple things that she ordered that like it was like a small can instead of a regular size can and stuff. So we're still learning. There's still a learning curve with it, but
now my biggest mistake is I go grocery shopping when I'm hungry.
Oh, that is a
And when you go through
terrible
the stores, like, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I need some cookies. Oh, I
Yeah.
need some. Yeah.
So I find that I spend less and eat better if I let them deliver my groceries.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You can still definitely impulse buy.
Yeah.
So, we ordered pizza last night from Papa Disgusting Pizza, and just because I didn't want to go anywhere, and I wanted pizza, so we ordered the better ingredients, better pizza lie.
But didn't you have to go pick up a number one?
It was what's that?
Didn't you have to go out and pick up number one anyway?
I had to go out and pick up a number 2 after I ate that.
Oh,
Yeah, but I didn't have to pick him up until like 11 o'clock last night.
you didn't want to wait dinner that long.
So I spent $60 with Papa John's last night
Really?
for 2 pizzas, breadsticks, and brownies. $60, and then tip, driver tip. It took over an hour for it to get here, and it was cold when it got here.
Ooh.
Like, so I haven't yet made the phone call or written the angry email, but it's coming. Like, it's ridiculous to spend that kind of money on food and then have it be garbage when it gets here. So, and I don't really think it's the driver's fault. The story's going to come down to, oh, we're short-handed and we don't have a lot of drivers. But you know what? That's not my problem.
Yeah.
That doesn't justify you wasting my $60.
I've got a gentleman I know from bowling up in New York that he used to keep his Pudgy's Fried Chicken / Arthur Treacher's place open during the storm so people could order their food, and he did delivery. And it turns out
Arthur Treacher's, man, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
He was telling me that he started closing during storms now because his drivers would get out there and people would say, "Thank you very much for driving in this junk to deliver this to me," and not even give him a tip.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, I'm not putting my workers at risk for that. I'll pay them to stay home.
No. No, and the thing is like, okay, so the driver doesn't pick the route. Right. It's all done by computer. The driver doesn't pick how many pizzas they have to take at one time. So it's not on the driver. And of course you get the text, rate your driver. Well, I'm pissed off, but it isn't the driver's fault. But I'm also not going to now rate the driver high because they're going to be like, yeah, but you said the delivery was great. So I'm not going to take it out on the driver. So I'm going right to the source.
Yeah.
No, there's no reason for that. Spend that kind of money and then not be happy with your food. Like you get a fresh pizza and you got to put it in the microwave as soon as you get it. Tom said I ordered one of those services at the beginning of COVID crap. Ordered one bologna thinking, a pound, and they brought the whole 5-pound log. Wow.
It's funny. I want to buy one of those 5-pound logs.
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine.
The only reason I want to buy it is at one of the racetracks. I can't remember which one of the NASCAR tracks it is. You can get the fried bologna sandwiches. They cut you like a 3/8 to 5-inch slab of, half-inch
5-inch slab.
Half-inch slab. They fry it and throw it on a roll for you, and it's really pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hot dog meat.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then after he's done eating it, then he drops a 5-pound slab.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll definitely make you drop a 5-pound
log.
No,
my charging cable for my headset isn't quite long enough, so this is about as much flexibility as I can get out of.
You can't plug it into the back of your chair? You don't have one of those USB chairs?
Nope. I have a Star Trek chair. It's not actually a Star Trek chair. A buddy of mine at work dressed up as Scotty one year for Halloween and then tossed me his large shirt and asked me if I wanted it. So I put it over the back of my chair.
Nice.
It's a red shirt, so the chair's always going to die.
That's right. It'll die first.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting Xander a new desk chair for Christmas because, for those who don't know, he's got scoliosis. And the chair that he sat on, he had that thing so worn out that he was sitting all funky and stuff on it. So
making it worse.
I don't know if you've tried to buy a chair lately, but every review that I read. Now, obviously I'm not looking at $2,500 desk chairs. Like I was looking $200, sub $200 for a chair. And if you read the reviews, it's like so mixed. Like there's a whole bunch of people are like, this is the greatest chair ever. And the other half are like super uncomfortable, broke after 1 month, like there's no in between on all of these chairs. It was very, very difficult to find him a chair. So I just finally just picked one, pulled the trigger. He absolutely loves it.
Good.
Absolutely loves it. But
the one I have at home that I picked up has speakers in the in the headrest, and I'm like, why do I want my chair tied to my? Because it's USB.
Oh yeah, that's
Why do I
dumb.
want my chair tied to my computer?
Right. Why do you want your chair tied to anything?
Yeah. I mean, being tied to the chair is completely different. But...
Well, that's yeah, no, that's
I'm uncomfortable with the situation now.
you would be if you were tied to the chair. Brian wants to know, where do you shop in New York for groceries?
I do Meat Farms and King Cullen are my 2 usual ones.
Meat farms and farm meats.
Yeah. Meat Farms just because it's a smaller grocery store. I can get everything I need and get out in half the time.
Yeah, we had a market in my old town where I used to live called Rife's, and it was a little mom and pop shop, but that was the best place to get meat because they actually had a butcher in there.
Oh, really?
Like it was like a legitimate butcher. So like when we would, have special steak night where we would go get a good cut of meat, that's where you'd go get it. So, and then there's a place here in Florida up in Fort White called Itchituckney Springs where you can go and float on the inner tube down for like 2 hours down this river. Yeah, it flows a million gallons of water a day is what this thing flows. So, but that town, the town of Fort White, when you get in there, there's a little tiny market that is exactly like that market was. Like you go in and it's mom and pop. You got a butcher. It's just brilliant. But more and more now, that stuff is gone.
Everything's going to the big box thing.
Yeah.
Well, we are actually past 6:30. Not that I should be the one complaining because I was so late. However,
Well, I got
6:29 here.
Yeah, I got 6:29.
Oh, it's Canadian time.
6:32.
This clock's 25% faster.
This is part of that. This is part of that big project that I'm working on.
How'd you print the rainbow?
How you print a rainbow?
Sprinkle it with cheese. No,
Cheese on a rainbow. Oh, that makes me think of putting cheese on Skittles. That's not good. No, I'm actually okay with wrapping it up because I'm wrecked. I'm wrecked. This is the most physical activity I've had in a week. So.
Your situation is worse, but I do feel you. My energy level was the biggest thing that might have hindered me from making it tonight because, as you know, after a migraine, it's like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I for the first couple of days. So Friday, I was up and moving about and like sadly out in public before I realized I was sick, and then came home, worked on my turtle tank, and like I was doing all kinds of stuff, and then I could start to feel it coming on, and I said to Priscilla, I said, I'm in trouble. Something's happening, and then I went to bed Friday night. Well, I'd actually taken a nap Friday afternoon because I was just tired, and then I went to bed Friday night, and I didn't get out of bed till Sunday. Oof. Like I was in bed over 24 hours, and not just laying there, like asleep.
Wow.
Like I would wake up and look at the clock and go, oh my God, I got to get up. And then I was out again. So, and then pretty much the whole week I had to have chairs positioned so that I could walk, like 15 feet and sit down and rest, and then move another 15 feet and sit down and rest. And going upstairs wasn't even an option. It wasn't until Tuesday that I finally went upstairs for the first time. So yeah, it got me good, and it's upper body fatigue is the worst. So, and then we had a insurance company inspection, a homeowner's insurance inspection, because we had to change companies, and I had a couple of things that needed to be repaired around here. So I put in a SOS call to my next door neighbor, who was kind enough to come over with his boy, and they fixed everything for me. So now I can quit faking being sick. But no, they were able to get that.
Who's going to question I have the Rona?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was very apparent that I had the Rona, because I would do something for 5 minutes and have to sit down. But what was crazy was we told the insurance guy that I tested positive, and he was like, I don't care, I'll wear a mask. We're like, all right, we just wanted you to know for your safety. And then when Priscilla tested positive, and she said, hey, just want to let you know I also tested positive, the guy's like, well, we'll postpone it.
How much time you got to be able to get the new policy done?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh,
I mean,
you're already with the new company.
we're already with the new company. Yeah, they just want to
Okay.
come and look at the house and make sure there's not any pre-existing issues, so that they can duck out of it later. Brian, I'm looking up to see who that chair is made by right now. Except for I'm not going to be able to because I'm signed out of my account for some reason. Give me a second. I'll find it. It's one of those Chinese companies that you can't say their name, but
156-foot transmission.
yeah, I don't know how I
Why
came
would you be in a
across-
neighbor's yard transmitting?
Yeah, I don't know why I can't. Well, it could happen. I've pushed the limits on mine. He's talking about transmission of wireless microphones.
Brian is a pro butcher shop. So how far do you ship, Brian?
Yeah, well, I got some meat at my house, huh? All right, so the brand is Hubada. It's HBADA. Hubada.
Habib? Bob?
I will. I'll share this
On Twitter to yourself, and then copy and paste the link from your Twitter account.
God, you're a genius. Well, or I could try logging in over here. It should. No, it's not going to because I don't think I have LastPass installed on here.
Nobody should have a LastPass installed anymore, apparently.
No, definitely not now. I don't recommend getting LastPass. I already paid for it.
You saw what happened with Jerry, Barnacules?
What?
So they apparently, I didn't get the full thing, but essentially, like, they were able to use some sort of information they got from LastPass to get control of his YouTube channel, and they changed his YouTube channel's name to SpaceX 2023 and started live streaming some sort of scam live stream under his thing. So it looked like a legitimate channel because you've got this SpaceX channel with 700,000 subscribers streaming stuff, and then they restricted chat to subscribers only. So
Brilliant.
I don't know if he's gotten his channel back or not yet. YouTube ended up deleting his channel or blocking it.
He was streaming, or no, I was never mind. That was somebody else I was watching.
I think he still has his Twitch, and I think he was planning to stream on Twitch today. But well, it looks like we're up and printing again on the Prusa, anyways. So I accomplished something today. My fake wall looks pretty good.
You lean against it.
You just got to pick where you want to lean, right? Like here. Look at how solid that is right there. It's because the bookshelf runs right here. So as long as you hit on some of the load bearings, that's fine.
It's a hologram.
I should have done the green screen thing.
If you could do a hologram wall, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'd sell it on the internet and people would use it for adult novelties.
You can do that with a green screen.
This is saying I don't have any orders for the past 30 days. Oh, that's because I'm logged in. Why am I logged into the Canadian Amazon? Oh my gosh, no wonder I don't have any orders. God, I think I just gave my password to a hacker from Canada.
Okay, I'm gonna have to duck out because Kay's messaging me to let me know that supper is time sensitive.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to get a link for Brian.
Having fish, aren't you?
I don't smell it yet, so I'm assuming no, but maybe. I have nothing to plug. I have nothing to. I actually have a video that's been sitting waiting to be released since before Christmas, and I just haven't had the feeling that it should come out yet. You know.
Hack Monkey, you start the stream now.
Oh, good. Scott's here. We can start the stream. Welcome everybody to your favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. All right. Well, I'm glad Scott made it at the last possible moment, but we're out.
4:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah. You can duck out at your will, James. It was lovely of you being here. It was lovely to see you again.
I look forward to doing it next week. It was good to see you, Uncle Ron.
Same, sir.
We'll see all you gentlemen later on. I'll see one of you next week.
That's right.
Gentlemen, who's he talking to?
I don't know.
I'm just being polite. You're both a bunch of
And
So just to bring Scott up to speed, we worked on a 3D printer today. We got a clog out of it. That was great. I had COVID. I'm recovering. Christmas was great. I hope it was for you as well. New Year's was safe. I hope yours was as well. What else do we talk about? I think that's it. Oh, my mom called. You missed the phone call from my mom, and it's now time to wrap up.
yeah, my mom broke and fixed this round sound.
Right.
So-
So, like I said, Uncle Ron and I are going to be filming this week for the garage. So watch for that. That'll be coming up. Garage content will be coming back out. I got a whole bunch of work to do right now, putting Christmas stuff away. But I do plan on getting the videos rolling again. Maybe I can finally finish that Fummins project. That'd be amazing. Next week, I'll probably be back working on the Christmas light controller because it's not done yet. But otherwise, pay attention to the YouTubes because the YouTubes is where I lay it all out. What did she say? The echo over there started blabbing
she was
something.
yabbing at something.
Whatever. So thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. We appreciate you all being here. We love each and every one of you. I don't know. I'm really brain fogged right now. I'm really tired. So I got to go in and rest. Love you guys. We'll do it again next week. Until next time, as always,
Print on.